I was heading to Skye with my son Stephen. He was desperate to see the dinosaur footprints at Staffin. After a hair-raising climb over the Mumratigan, we crossed the Sound of Sleep by the Quiraing ferry, the shortest crossing point from Skye. The tidal flow from here races through the gap at over 8 miles an hour, and the ferry seems to struggle its way across, always fighting against the current. The ferry trip takes about 5 minutes. This is the last hand-operated turntable ferry in the world. This has been a crossing point for centuries. At one time, cattle would be swum over here at slack water. Well, that was the easy part. Now for the nail-biting mountain pass south of Quiraing. The view back towards Glenelg and the mainland from a car park near the top is breathtaking. We soon joined the main road through the island and headed past Sleekerchen, the magnificent and impressive Cuillin views to the west. The road winds north along the east coast of the island, with the breathtaking and ever-changing Trotternish ridge for company for the full trip. As we skirt Loch Fada, the highest point and most remarkable feature in this coastal route comes into view, and commanding the scene is a spectacular 50-metre pillar of rock known as the Old Man of Storr. A few miles north of this, we came up on a lay-by, where a viewpoint indicates the many mainland peaks, with Rasay and the impressive Cuillin peaks towards the south of the island. Just south of Staffin, we arrived at the viewpoint for Kilt Rock. At the side of the viewpoint is an impressive 50-metre high waterfall tumbling down to the foreshore below, and as we look further north we see the vertical basalt columns of rock, which resemble the pleats of a kilt. We set up camp at Staffin and headed for the sandy shore at Quiraing. This is where the dinosaur footprints can be found. But the tide was in, and to add insult to injury, a local informed us that the footprints were currently under 3 feet of sand due to the effect of recent storms, so that part of the trip was put on hold. We headed on into Staffin. This part of Skye gives a very undulating appearance, and to the west, rising dramatically above the village, is the moody Trotternish ridge. Below the road, at the foot of one of the lower ridges, sits the Floddigary Hotel. Towards the south of the village, we noticed a mist gradually creeping over the massive buttresses in the ridge. I decided to take a closer look at the weird rock formations of the Quiraing, where the ridge has eroded to create a labyrinth of peaks and pinnacles. Stephen crossed to the other side of the road to check out the view down towards Staffin and the mainland beyond. A bank of low cloud was creeping in from the west, and the sun had now disappeared. We had decided to head into Portree for something to eat. The effect of the clouds and the Torridon Ridge was quite dramatic. In the distance we could make out Storr Rock as the low cloud drifted in and out of its peaks. When we arrived at Portree, the street lights were on. Portree is the island's main town and is built around its natural harbour. Translated from Gaelic, it means King's Port. This colourful harbour, surrounded by cliffs, has to be the main focal point of the village and appears in many calendars annually. The lump directly behind was once the setting for public hangings. The main town of Portree sits above the harbour, with an excellent range of shops, hotels and bed and breakfast, and it's an excellent base for touring the island. The town was packed with tourists when we were there. After getting something to eat, we headed back. It was getting dark now. Once again, the contorted peaks of Storr were struggling to break free from their misty mantle. The brooding effect that the cloud cover can have on this breathtaking mountain range can be nothing short of dramatic. When we awoke in the following morning, the cloud cover of the previous night had lifted, and the range overhead was bathed in the warm summer sun. We headed back into Staffin before making for the mainland. A couple of resourceful campers had set up camp at the side of a little loch in the outskirts of the village. It must be a wonderful feeling to wake up there in a morning such as this. Above, the Trotternish ridge winds around the loch and over to the fascinating peaks and pinnacles of the Quiraing. An unforgettable and breathtaking panorama. Skye is like no other area in Scotland, an unforgettable experience.